Hello, planet Earth.
Hi.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations as always. You've made your way to the Buffyngton Post.
Kudos!
Yes, I finally broke down and changed my YouTube channel name from IDK, my BFF Jill, 730.
My BFF Jill 730.
Because I put it out to you guys on Twitter, and not many of you responded, but those of you who did were like, yeah, dude, change your name. It's way too random. And so yeah, it was a kind of bittersweet thing for me because I thought my channel name was so out there and weird and fun for me, but at the end of the day, I feel like I'll drive a bit more traffic this way because now my channel name is pretty self-fucking-explanatory.
Okay, that story makes a lot more sense now.
But anyway, today I'm going to be doing a follow-up video to the video I did a couple weeks ago about the Buffy reboot being like a real thing. And unless you've been living under a rock for about the past week or so, you'll know that it's not a Buffy reboot. It's actually going to be like about a brand new Slayer. And so we're going to talk about all that and some stuff that I think is really more important in this whole Buffy reboot situation. And so without further ado, let's talk about how it's not a Buffy reboot after all. Here we go.
Here we go.
So yeah, about a week ago, I want to say it was like last Friday maybe, Monica Breen took to Twitter and she was like, there's only one Buffy, there's only one Giles, there's only one, like, insert character here. And so she's not interested in talking about those characters because to do that would be, you know, heresy and blasphemy and all the other E's. And so, like, she was like, we are going to be dealing with a brand new Slayer, which, like I was saying, if you're gonna start over, start from scratch, wipe the slate clean. There was no Buffy, there was no anything. If you want to tell a new Slayer story, like, tell a new Slayer story. And so I feel like on the one hand, it's gonna make people a little butthurt because they wanted to see a continuation of the series, but really the only way that you could do an actual continuation of the series is to have Sarah Gellar hand the mantle over on screen to another woman. And the fact of the matter is, like, people don't want that. We don't, like, if you're gonna revisit the Buffyverse that Buffy herself lived in, then you want to see Buffy, and you don't want it to not be about Buffy, right? Like, even if she passes the torch or, you know, the scythe or what the fuck ever.
Exactly.
I don't see people really connecting to that. And so, like, I hope that they are just wiping the slate clean. A new story about a different Slayer. There was no Buffy, and it's just a new take on the, well, what do we call it now? If it's not Buffy's universe, is it really the Buffyverse, right? Like, Buffyverse, whatever.
Whatever.
And so I think that she just wants to take the mythology of the Slayer and tell a new story. And that's where I live. I would rather you do that than kind of bastardize the story of Buffy. Let's tell a story about a girl who isn't Buffy, who happens to be like a Slayer, like, whatever. I'm totally cool with that. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't care, and this gives me the ability to really not care, because it seems like it's not going to be infringing upon anything that, like, we love as Buffy and Angel and, you know, like, the greater Buffyverse fans, right? And so I think this is a safe way to go into it. And so, like, I have no problem with it. Like, I had made my peace with the fact that they were going to revisit Buffy eventually. And the idea that she's not going to be revisiting Buffy, the actual character, is, it's great. Like, it's all water under the bridge to me. Like, I don't care. Nobody was ever going to make me watch it. And now, like, I might watch it just to see how the mythology of the Slayer is kind of updated for this modern audience. And so that's all great and good. But there is, like, this other thing that's going on with Buffy, which is that now...
You ready?
Now the Disney-Fox deal has officially gone through. Now, it won't be finalized until, like, I want to say 2019 or whatever, but on paper, like, right now, Disney owns 21st Century 21st Century Fox and all of its properties. And so, like, Buffy's one of those properties, and it's really scary for me because I made this whole video about how Disney is trying to get Buffy, and now, like, they've got her. And so however, this reboot, or not a reboot, right? Like this retelling of the Slayer mythology, what the heck ever it is, whatever it is, it will be a Disney property, and it will have to go through like this Disney machination before it can like come to us. And so like that's my big kind of like scary monster in the closet. Disney owns Buffy now.
She needs something from me.
And not only are they going to be in charge of this like new television show that's in the works, but that means that anything that the comics do after this season of the comics, if there is an after the season of the comics, like nobody knows.
I'm done.
But it's gonna be like owned by Disney. And now Disney, back in what, like 2009 or 10, they bought Marvel Entertainment. And I thought that Marvel Comics and Marvel Entertainment were kind of like two different things, but no, Marvel Entertainment owns Marvel Comics. And so Marvel Comics is actually just a subsidiary of Marvel Entertainment, which is now a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Corporation. Okay? Like, you see what I'm saying? So the Walt Disney Company owns Marvel Comics, and if they now also own all of the 21st Century Fox properties, that means that the Buffy comics are now Disney.
Exactly.
Now the big thing is like, what does this mean for particularly the comic books? Will Buffy go to Marvel? I don't know, because nobody's invited me into any of these meetings because, you know, poor.
Grumble, grumble.
But yeah, so, I mean, there is a case to be made that you could fold Buffy into the Marvel 616 universe. It sounds a little crazy, but the more I've thought about it, the more it would actually be like the most fun thing ever. Could you imagine if Xander and Andrew figured out that they had woken up in the Marvel universe with, you know, Spider-Man there and the X-Men and shit? Like, they would go bonkers bananas. Although, like, Andrew hasn't been seen all through season 12, which is this whole thing, but what the fuck ever.
Oh, crap.
And so, yeah. So, that could be really fun, and you could kind of play with how Buffy's vampire mythology is completely different from, like, Marvel's vampire mythology that they've built up, and kind of, like, it's all a little murky over there, because you've got, like, you remember when Storm was a vampire, and, like, Jubilee was a vampire? So, like, the Marvel universe has its own, like, rules for vampirism and all that good stuff. And so to have Buffy do, like, a team-up with Blade would be fucking cool. And to have Buffy meet Spider-Man and Kitty Pryde, who, like, largely those two characters are the most Buffy. Or I guess Buffy is the most Kitty Pryde and Spider-Man. Like, it would be like putting up a mirror. And you could really do some meta stuff and some just talking about the properties in general. I don't know that they would go that route, but it does raise the question of where will Buffy live from now on. I don't know what the contract situation is with Dark Horse Comics, but we know that from what we've known about season 12, it is them ending the season comic structure. And again, this goes back to the whole idea of, you know, season 12 being the end of the fucking world, and it goes back to maybe this is because Disney's taking over and all this good stuff. They want to kind of wrap it up before Disney does whatever it is that they're going to do with Buffy.
What are you doing?
I don't like the idea of Buffy being owned by Disney. I feel like 20th Century Fox, 21st Century Fox, whatever, they allowed for Buffy to be and do things that Disney would never allow for. And so it does make me nervous, and it makes me really kind of worrisome. But the bright side, like I made this whole video about the bright side of season 12, is that if all of this, if all of the like Dark Horse season comic books are ending, it gives us a sense of closure. and like closure isn't a real thing. You can never really like get closure. Your issues are, I guess, kind of like be there. Just watch Anna Faris is Unqualified, or I guess listen to whatever. But it will kind of close the book on this kind of this chapter of what it is to be a Buffy fan, and this chapter of what Buffy is for, you know, the past 15 years. And so that's it's kind of disheartening, but at the same time it does kind of bring a sigh of relief to me. Like, it's not like all of a sudden the Buffy season comics are going to be taken over by Disney, and whether they're still published by Dark Horse, or whether they move to Boom like Firefly did, or whether they are actually taken in by Marvel Comics proper, we will not just have this great big culture shock. They are telling the story as it ends, and is going to be, like, you know, told in full, still through the Dark Horse lens and the Dark Horse mythology that has continued from where the show left off. And so that's, like, you know, the bright side.
I made a lot of these points earlier, but, you know, it's fine. No one listens.
But yeah, I don't really care about this Buffy show, or like not a Buffy show that they're going to be putting out. That's just going to be about this new Slayer. Like, good for you guys. Like, good that people are going to be working. Good that new people are going to be exposed to the Slayer mythology, and they can always go back and watch Buffy for, you know, what it was and what she represents. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Like, it's a fine. Like, and her saying that it's not going to be, you know, about Buffy, she's not going to retell the Buffy story, it's kind of a safety net. It's a security blanket for me, because I'm like, oh good, you're not messing with what I love, you're just kind of expanding upon it, which, you know, more power to you, etc.
You don't know the first thing about Buffy.
But yeah, so I don't care. I don't know if I'll watch it or not, but I do care about Disney owning Buffy herself, and what they can do with the actual Buffy character and the actual Buffy property. That worries me. And so that's pretty much all I wanted to get out here and talk about today, because I keep having people like commenting on my Buffy reboot video being like, haven't you heard? Yes, we've all heard. Like, if you're a fan, we've heard. And so, like, that's where I land on it. Still, the Buffy reboot, or not a Buffy reboot, whatever it is, it doesn't hurt you, it doesn't hurt me, it's not going to hurt anybody. If anything, it's just going to bring more eyes to the original Buffy, and, like, what else do we want but to have a bigger legion of fans?
This is about choices.
So, yeah, that's a whole thing, but the Disney thing does worry me, and I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like, are you worried about Disney owning Buffy? Are you excited that Disney has the money to really, like, make a bunch of, like, new Buffy merch? Like, I got these pins at Hot Topic. I was looking for a belt because my Sailor Moon belt has gone to shit. So I was looking for a Sailor Moon belt and I couldn't find one. But I was going through the little pin boxes and I found this Sunnydale Slayers Club, which looks exactly like my Sunnydale Slayers Club t-shirts that Tuz and I wore for Halloween when we were Buffy and Willow. It's fucking awesome. And there's so very little Buffy merch out there. Like, this is the only thing Buffy that they had in the store, except for, like, the Funko Pops. I don't care about the damn Funko Pops. But yeah, so, like, yeah, Disney, they can afford to give us all the Buffy merch that they want. They just paid $7 billion for Buffy and all of her 20th Century Fox friends, so they better invest some coin into, you know, giving us the stuff.
Get your ass down here!
So, that's a whole thing. But yeah, let me know what you think of this entire situation, the TV show, the Disney bits, the merch, the comics ending with Dark Horse in Season 12, all that good stuff in the comment section down below. I've been Preston L. Young. I hope you're having a great 2018 so far, everybody. Welcome to my new channel, which is the exact same channel, but with a brand new name, the Buffyngton Post.
Sorry.
You can come right back here anytime for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reviews, Angel and Faith reviews, Buffyverse discussions on the other Slayers, and more. My second episode of History Buff just went up the other day, this past week, so check that out. I realize that the sound goes wonky about halfway through, but there's nothing I can really do about it now. Deal with it, Planet Earth. That's pretty much all for today. Have yourself a great day today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
The time has come!
Get out. Get out, get out, get out! Get out, get out, get out! Get out, get out, get out!